Hey, if you are pregnant or trying to get pregnant, my friend, yes, I consider you my friend. This video is for you. Hi, I am Prakriti, mother of a 19-month-old angel daughter. I have enjoyed my pregnancy and after delivery postpartum period to the fullest because I broke through these 5 pregnancy myths. Thanks to my reading habit, I read almost every research and old wives' tale at my disposal to be knowledgeable and not a blind follower. So while you continue on your divine journey of pregnancy, let me share with you those pregnancy myths that are often followed by women but should not be. You should not exercise while pregnant. Yes, it is commonly said that once you become pregnant, you should not continue doing exercises which you used to do before. And definitely you should not start doing it once you become pregnant. Believe nahi hota na? Yes, this is a myth. Think about it this way. कहते हैं कि घर में झाड़ू, पोछा, बर्तन सब करना चाहिए ताकि फिट रह सके और नेचुरल डिलीवरी के चांसेस बने रहे. बट वहीं पे एक ट्रेनर की निगरानी में की गई एक्सरसाइज, प्रॉपर मसल्स और एरियाज को टारगेट की गई एक्सरसाइज करना खतरनाक है. ये कंपैरिजन मेरा पर्सनल व्यू है, बट आप भी कमेंट में बताइए कि क्या ये कहीं ना कहीं गलत नहीं लगता. सो इफ दिस इज मिथ, व्हाट इज फैक्ट? Fact is, if you have had an active lifestyle before pregnancy, you can definitely continue it after becoming pregnant. यकीन नहीं हो रहा? I myself am an example. जो exercise routine pre-pregnancy मेरा था, उसमें से most of the routine मैं during pregnancy भी continue कर पाई, which was absolutely safe. बल्कि प्रेगनेंसी एक बहुत बेहतरीन समय होता है एक्सरसाइज के प्रोग्राम्स को स्टार्ट करने के लिए, अगर आपने पहले कभी एक्सरसाइजेस नहीं की हैं तो भी. क्यों? क्योंकि अब आपकी बॉडी को और ज्यादा जरूरत है फिट रहने की, ताकि वो बढ़ते हुए अंदर बच्चे के वेट को, उसकी डेवलपमेंट्स को, उसकी ग्रोथ को सपोर्ट कर पाए. The only important point which we have to keep in mind is to listen to our bodies. It is safe for a pregnant woman to exercise for 20 to 30 minutes, moderate intensity wali, for 20 to 30 minutes per day for 4 to 5 times a week. That being said, it is important to avoid high impact sports or activities in which there is a chance of falling, or avoid strenuous activities altogether which your body is not used to. So why to do exercise at all, right? And which ones to do? See, what is the main agenda of doing exercises? It keeps our body in shape. During pregnancy, excessive weight gain can be fatal for mother and the child. So, what exercise does, it keeps that weight gain in check, it eases our pain and also prepares us for childbirth. The ideal exercises during pregnancy can be running, walking, stationary cycling, swimming, dancing and other aerobic exercises, pilates, yoga, mild weight training, but everything done moderately, because as bump grows with time, the center of the body, the center balance of the body gets thrown off. So what we have to do is do all these exercises mildly, moderately, but we should definitely do it. So this one is fun. That is, you have to eat for 2. You must have heard it, no? अभी तक तो सबने बोल दिया होगा कि भाई प्रेग्नेंट हो, अब तो तुम्हें डाइट बढ़ानी चाहिए, 2 लोगों के लिए खानी चाहिए, तुम्हारे अंदर 2 जान बस रही हैं. So as much as many women would like to believe that it is true, it is not a healthy goal for pregnancy, and its meaning is mostly misunderstood. But what will happen if we eat too much? This is the time we should eat, no? We should enjoy our pregnancy. Why to worry about what we are eating? But what are the risks of gaining too much weight during pregnancy? And how does a woman make sure that she is satisfying her hunger needs and proper calories without eating too much? Gaining too much weight during pregnancy, especially due to overeating, is very harmful. How? It increases the risk of C-section, gestational diabetes, hypertension, gestational thyroid, and having big baby. You must have heard that your baby has, your baby is big, so we will have to operate. This all can happen due to thoughtless overeating during pregnancy. Gaining a certain amount of weight is good, obviously. In your each visit to the doctors, she will make sure that your baby and you are equally gaining proper weight. But If the baby is gaining the weight and you are not, it is not a thing to worry about. It is absolutely normal that the baby is gaining weight and you are not, because what's important is to baby gain the weight. Moreover, a baby is likely to be born bigger in size if the mother gains excessive weight during pregnancy, and it can hamper their life later on. They are at a higher risk of heart diseases and obesity in their life later on. Similarly, this is also true for the babies who are born quite small. So if this is myth, what is the fact? Fact is, eating for two does not mean eating twice. Experts says that only an additional intake of 300 calories per day is sufficient, and during third trimester it can again increase up to 450 calories. This particular additional intake can be met by adding a few snacks in your daily routine. That is maybe a cup of yogurt or some dry fruits or fruit and some snacks, healthy snacks to munch on. But excessive gain will definitely hamper your pregnancy later on and may result adversely to the baby. A pregnant woman should focus on developing healthy eating habits. Your baby needs nutrients to grow, and you should aim to eat a balanced diet of nutrient-rich foods like vegetables, fruits, whole grains, lean proteins, and calcium-rich foods. It is also important to talk to your gynae about supplementing certain important vitamins like folic acid and iodine, which can be difficult to attain adequately through diet alone. Conversely, gaining too little weight is also a concern. It can lead to low birth weight, premature delivery, and later developmental delays along with learning disabilities and chronic health problems in the baby. I want to point out here that although being overweight during pregnancy is a risk, but experiencing weight gain or being overweight or obese during pregnancy does not automatically mean that you will face those risks. It just means we have to be mindful and focused to develop only positive behaviors during this period. One tip I recommend mothers to help promote healthy weight gain is to view snacks as a tool to fill the gaps in between nutrition. For example, it's important to get enough calcium to avoid pulling off from their own bone stores. These kind of snacks can help in avoiding constipation and muscle cramps while contributing to the baby's brain development. Please mind it, pregnancy is not a time period to start crash diet. You have to have certain nutrients, and it will not be advisable to reduce or minimize your weight gain while not adding these nutrients in your diet. As long as you're not missing out on any major nutrients, you are good to go. Overall, the key to a healthy pregnancy is to add healthy snacks and not overeating. It is absolutely okay to walk, drive, or fly during pregnancy, until and unless it is recommended explicitly by your doctor not to travel. So if that was a myth, what is a fact? The fact is, it is not preferred to travel in the first 12 weeks of pregnancy because of nausea, sickness, and tiredness in that early stage of pregnancy. And the risk of miscarriage is also higher in those starting 3 months, whether you're traveling or not. However, there is a safe period during the pregnancy, that is the second trimester, between 14th week and 28th week, which is safe, where we have lesser morning sickness, where we have lesser nausea, and our bodies feel better. But if you still need to travel during the later weeks of your pregnancy, then you must consider proper precautions such as a medical insurance, which covers all pregnancy related medical care in case you go into labor, the premature birth, and change of date of your return trip if you go into the labor. When traveling by car, limit your drive to no more than 5 to 6 hours. Tiredness and dizziness are common during traveling, so you must consider taking breaks and keeping yourself hydrated throughout the journey. Only eat natural energy giving products such as fruits and nuts, and keep the air circulating in the car But do not forget to wear seat belt. The cross strap of the belt should come between your breast and the lower strap should come under the belly, not across the belly. Flying is also not harmful to either you or your baby. However, airlines do restrict traveling in the later halves of the pregnancy. So what we need to do? The chances of going into labor after 37 weeks is high, and 32 weeks in case you are carrying twins. So checking with the airlines would be better. The airline may ask you for a letter from your doctor confirming your due date and that you are not at risk of pregnancy related complications. On the other hand, ferry companies have their own restrictions and they may refuse to carry heavily pregnant women, often after 32 weeks in case of standard crossings and 28 weeks in case of high speed crossings. So check the ferry company's policy before you book. On long boat rides such as cruises, then also check out their facilities of pregnancy related medical care at the docking ports. So during pregnancy, whenever you go, however you go, all you have to take care is that there must be some medical facilities available at your destination, and you must always carry your medical related papers in hand for the doctor's reference. Another fun myth we all hear in the pregnancy are the gender of the baby. Yes, you can check the gender, you can predict the gender. There are many old wives' tales that claim that we can predict the sex of the baby while based on the observations such as whether you are carrying the baby high or low, whether you are craving for salty food items or sweet, even what kind of heart rate baby is having. But none of these have any basis in science and cannot be relied upon 100%. If that is a myth, then what is a fact? The only sure way to know the sex of your baby is through ultrasound or certain blood tests. An ultrasound can determine the sex of the baby between 19 to 20 weeks, and the blood tests such as non-invasive prenatal testing can determine the sex of the baby beginning around 10 weeks. I think prediction of gender of the baby should be looked upon as a fun way to be engaged during pregnancy. All our near and dear ones are equally excited for the arrival of baby and they want to contribute, they want to distract you during your discomfort periods, and that's where these prediction games used to play their role. In fact, if you give you my example, many of my relatives, my dear friends, they all used to do this fun guessing thing. So one used to say, no, you are carrying high, so you'll have a girl. Some said, no, you are craving for this kind of food, so you'll have that. If you are having acne, so the baby would be this, etc., etc. Everyone just wants to be part of this beautiful journey. But if you're ready to know the sex of your baby, ultrasound is the only way to do it. The rest of these old wives' tales are actually tales. They can guess, they can predict, but they cannot be 100% reliable. So, in your pregnancy journey, we have compiled a long list of these old wives' tales which you can use to guess the sex of your baby and gather everyone. If you are having a baby shower, then you can include these games in your baby shower as well, and everyone can have their guessing. In my baby shower as well, everyone guessed when will the baby come, what it will be. It was all such a lovely experience, and every girl is entitled to have it. So another myth is breastfeeding comes naturally. Now this is a topic which is very close to my heart. मैंने हमेशा से सोचा था कि मैं अपने बेबी को एटलीस्ट 6 months exclusively breastfeed करूंगी, जैसा कि WHO recommend भी करता है. In the beginning, due to emergency C-section, I was not able to see my baby for more than a day. She was in NICU and I was not able to give her skin to skin, which is actually recommended. Neither was I able to give her my first milk, which is called colostrum and is full of nutrients required by the just born baby. Can you imagine all the mothers who have just given the birth or who have gone through this period may relate with me. It was a big trauma for me and it took a while for me to get over it. One of the major reasons of not having enough supply of your milk for the baby is stress. I was under the stress that I could not give skin to skin to my baby. I was under the stress that my baby was away from me in NICU. Then I suffered with spinal headache. So even when my baby was with me, I was unable to feed her for another 3-4 days because I was lying straight, suffering with this spinal ache. In this all time, nobody was concerned that I am still to start breastfeeding to my baby, because formula milks are now readily available for the babies, and it has become so common and general that it is nobody's concern that the formula milk cannot replace the need and importance and value of breastfeeding for the baby. Personal choice, whether you want to feed or not. I definitely wanted. So another block hit me hard when I reached home and I found that my baby could not latch properly and I had to feed formula milk afterwards. This situation continued for about 1 month. And disheartened, I went to my doctor and discussed the situation to find what? My doctor tells me that if it is 1 month or more than 1 month and I am not producing that amount of milk, it will not come thereafter. I may have to continue with the formula milk. And that's it. This is the end of my breastfeeding journey. I could not believe it. I could not accept it. All my dreams of holding my baby in my arms and feeding her just shattered right there. And I could not sleep that night. And then I started reading all about breastfeeding, which I skipped during my pregnancy because I thought breastfeeding comes naturally. But here I'm happily sharing this fact with you. My daughter is now 1 year, 8 months old and I'm still breastfeeding her. I exclusively breastfed her for 6 months and then introduced other pureed forms of the food. So, we are back to the question. Does breastfeeding comes naturally? No, it does not always come naturally. While babies are born with a reflex to look for the mother's breast, we mothers need support, guidance and knowledge all at once to breastfeed our babies. It may take time for you and your baby to get a hang of it. Your baby may need help latching on the breast the right way. You may need guidance to know various positions of holding your baby while feeding so that neither you nor your baby is physically tired. What I found during my research was astonishing, and that's the reason I am here sitting in front of you today making this video, because I want to share all of my knowledge with all these upcoming mothers, to be moms and new mothers. They must not go through all those things which I have gone, and before me many moms have gone through. So my friends, if you decide on breastfeeding your baby right after delivery, then you must know there is a cycle of demand and supply. When the baby will create demand of milk, your body will automatically produce it. Now we can stimulate our body for the demand by latching our baby to the breast as often as possible, and if not, then we should use pumps. Yes, there are electric and manual pumps available in the market which we can use to stimulate our body, to give our body the signal that we need more milk. Where a woman's body is capable of making a whole baby, it is definitely capable of producing milk for that baby's survival too. All we need to do is signal to that body, yes, baby demands milk, let's produce it. It is important to follow up with the baby's doctor as well to check whether the baby is gaining adequate weight or not. Now the question arises that do I need to wake up at night also to maintain that demand and supply flow? No, our body is very intelligent and it can intelligently adapt to the day and night cycle of the milk production as well. When we signal that during night we need lesser amount of milk, it starts producing lesser amounts. But if in the middle of the night you feel engorged or uncomfortable, you can definitely wake up and pump out or hand express the excess milk and store it for the later consumption of the baby. But before thinking about all these processes of breastfeeding, one mother should always consider asking herself before even giving birth to the baby that 1. Do I have time to commit to this process? 2. Will I be having an environment comfortable for breastfeeding my baby? 3. For how long I want to breastfeed my baby? And 4. If I am planning to go back to the work, will I be able to pump If you are easily able to answer all these questions and you will be able to breastfeed afterwards, then voila. There are many health benefits of breastfeeding your baby for the mother as well as for the baby. Research suggests that breastfed babies have stronger immune system and decreased risk of developing childhood obesity along with ear infections. And I believe it is an incredible opportunity to bond with your baby. Now I sit and think that just like me, how many more new mothers would be out there who are clueless that breastfeeding is not as natural as it is thought to be. And the new mother should not feel down or inadequate if it does not click immediately.